Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I would like to briefly tell you my honest opinion, my honest thoughts on the first book I have read from this year's Book Prize. This is a debut novel by Guy Gonaratne. It's called In a Mad and Furious City. It takes place in a contemporary London, or shall we say late 2000s London, and it is told basically through 5 different voices. There is one extra voice which is one chapter, but majority of the conversation is done by 5 different characters. 3 of them are teenagers and friends, and 2 are slightly elderly, and it's all to do with the violence and extremism. So I have looked at the long list and chosen to read just 5 or 6 books out of it. The rest of them are just not too much of my interest. And I thought I'll read this one because I do like literature about contemporary London, and it came with quite a few glowingly praising reviews. So if you look at The Guardian, if you look at The Independent, for example, they're all single praises. Some of the podcasts I've been listening to in April, he was a member, well, he was invited to the front row on BBC Radio 4, which I listened to. So I've listened to that interview about the book, and I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And I have just one word: why? Why is this long-listed for the Booker Prize, arguably the top award for the literary fiction? And don't throw daggers at me. You can say, yes, you're white and you're a woman and you're middle class. What on earth do you know about life in a gritty London estate? But well, I grew up in the most criminal city in Russia following the collapse of Soviet Union, and though my generation did not participate in the gang wars, the previous generation of parents did. So when you call a book gritty and then I'm subjected to page upon page upon page where nothing happens and the plot is predictable and bloody vanilla sugar coated, I get furious. So my honest opinion is I'm disappointed. I have no idea how this book has arrived at that slot, at a coveted 13th place slot on the Man Booker Prize list. Why? Is literature in such a state of decline? Are we completely desensitized to violence or anything happening now that all the left-wing jurists think that this is amazing? Or something's gone wrong, and I don't know where it's gone wrong with the jurists, it's gone wrong with the society as a whole, because this, guys, is as predictable and sugar-coated as it gets. The only thing I liked about the book is the language. I really enjoyed it because that's how London speaks. It's multicultural. Yes, you have estates right next, council estates right next to some pretty expensive places in London. London is a culture melting pot. That's what's great about it. And obviously you are going to have a variety of different dialects and different cultures blending together. I was living in the UK for years and years, for more than half of my life, so I'm familiar with it. I was in the UK during the riots. One of my closest friends was actually attacked in one of those riots. Because that's life. People get angry, people do get extreme. And this is not great. You have one person die towards the end of the book. I kind of knew he was doomed from the opening page because, I don't know, it's full of cliches. Yeah, what do those people from the state do? They pursue the 2 careers you kind of think the ethnic minorities will choose: music, such as grime scene, which is London grown equivalent of hip hop and rap in New York, and you have sporting career. That's exactly what they go for. And they are interested in football and they are interested in girls. That's what teenagers are. They are interested in football and girls. And the sex scene was, to me, a little bit overdone. Like, why do I need to be subjected to reading this? Why? What does it bring to the table of reading this book? Nothing. A bit of a rant, but that's how I feel. And I'm going to say, if I have written this, I repeat it, me being white woman, middle class, I don't think I would have been able to publish this book. Or even if I did publish it, I would have been severely criticized for being racist. But because Guy Gonaratne is not white, suddenly all the left fields of the British literary artist society embrace this. This is perfect for the Guardian readers. And I'm sorry, you can label me right-wing, but I'm not. I'm just realistic. If you would like a little bit of what greed is like in literature, talking about the States. If any of you ever watched with subtitles this horrendous Italian TV show called Sodom and Gomorrah, set in Neapel in a horrendous crime-ridden state. It's based on the actual novel. I'll try to find it and link the link. I watched one episode of the show. I could not deal with the book because it's dripped in violence. And when I say violence, like burning someone for pleasure, or taking someone's head off, or taking the nails out because you can. This is vanilla sugar-coated idea of it. That's why I don't watch BBC crime series, because they're just not realistic. And then I have a note about the actual book. So I got a hardbound copy here in the UK. It's really nicely printed, but it has a huge font. There is absolutely no point in printing it with such large font and not labeling it large font as it is. So it is 384 pages, but really it's 120. And you could have printed it in a different format and it would have been half the price. And I think more people would have been happy with it. Will I recommend this book? No. I would not recommend this book because I don't think it's actually representative. I think it's full of cliches and it does not do justice to the ethnic minorities in London. I don't think it celebrates the people who grew up in the state. It just, again, puts them in a box. This is what they are, this is what they're going to escape. They're not going to escape. I find all of the characters, particularly actually all of them, I only liked Sevelin's father, Nelson. He was the only voice I could kind of connect to. Caroline, honestly, why? It's like he has gone and read a couple of interviews done by RAs, and he had watched all of the different news reports from the time in Ireland, and he decided that's how she's going to be. Why is she traumatized? Why is she following every single thing you would expect a person from that circumstances to go through? Boring. Absolutely boring. I could not connect to her. The three teenagers, honestly, again, why do they have to be so plain? There is no dimension to them. There is no depth to them. They're just exactly cardboard, exactly as he starts with them, he finishes with them. Yes, the book is set in over 40 hours. 40 hours, you can't really show progression in the characterization, but you can show the background story, and again, nothing. I felt no connection to them whatsoever. I didn't feel for them. And then the culmination, sort of the way he stylistically wraps around and wraps around and wraps around his text, and the chapters get shorter and the voices get more intertwined. You expect this horrendous finale, something dramatic to happen, and I knew that's exactly what was going to happen from the first book. I think he is a really good visual artist because the whole book reads as a video clip. It's a perfect video clip actually for grime video, and yeah, I connected with the language and the visualization of it. But then I think he has watched the movie. That was really lovely dark humor movie which came out in the UK I think 7 years ago, called The Four Lions, and I think it was very heavily based. It was inspired, at least the horrible thing which sets the violence and the riots in London in this book was definitely inspired by a couple of the lines and from that movie. So I'll leave a link to the movie as well on the IMDb. So yeah, it's the first book from the long list I have tried this year, and unfortunately for me it's a 1 star. Tell me what you think. Did you have similar experience reading this? Did you enjoy it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can point me towards the realistic description somewhere in this book. So I would like to have a discussion down below in the comments. See you guys in the next video. Bye.